Yo, it's the Sports Cap Chronicles. I just came up with that on the spot. Nah, it's the Sports Cap team. I'm Cal. We've got Michael and Max here. Gentlemen, how are we?
Doing good, doing good. Excited to record here.
Fantastic.
Good time of year. We just had, we're in June. Michael, what month did you say is the best sport month of the year?
I think May is the best sports month of the year. You got the entire NBA playoffs and NHL playoffs kicking off every single night. I was thinking last night, like there were no sports on last night besides.
I know.
I missed it.
Me
I'm
too.
gonna counter.
Me too.
I'm gonna counter May with October, real quick. Football, World Series, MLB playoffs, basketball starting up.
It's a fair take.
Yeah, basketball, hockey started. Yeah, October's a good shout. I would probably lean May over October. I think March has also got a shout just from a purely March Madness standpoint. That's the other month I would throw in there, but yeah, I would probably agree to May. So we're through the best months of sport. We are all sports fans. We all work at a sports agency. So why don't we just give a little bit of background? This is our first episode. So Michael, you go first, then kick it to Max.
Got it. So yeah, obviously work at the Vayner Sports Agency here. I would say the reason why I'm a sports fan is just from the pure entertainment standpoint. Sports is, I feel like, the one thing that acts as my true escapism. And I feel like that is true for a lot of sports fans. Whatever's going on in the world around me, business-wise, family-wise, when I'm watching my team and when I'm dialed in on a sports game, nothing else matters. And I feel like so many sports fans feel that way. For me, that team is the Jets, unfortunately. I'm a huge American football guy. I'm dialed into that team. I can name you the entire 53-man roster. Sports just means so much to my life, both watching it and working in it, that creating content here is incredible for me, and we're having an awesome time doing it.
I'm going to follow that up.
Max?
Agree with everything. I agree with everything Michael said. I'd say I'm a sports fan, grew up watching sports with my family and whatnot, playing sports. So sports has always been big, specifically, and kind of like Michael here, the Giants. I'm a big New York Giants fan. Luckily, they've had a little more success in my lifetime than the Jets have had for Michael. Not a lot lately. So I kind of feel him on that one. But yeah, I'm going to go Giants, number one sport easily. Although the Yankees right now, the Yankees are killing it right now. So I'm going to stake my claim right now. They're winning the World Series.
You think the Yankees are going to win the World Series this year?
Oh, yeah.
As we're recording this right now on June 4th, they got the best record in baseball.
They do.
I know, so I feel like that's a cop-out answer from
the top two OPS hitters in the game, too. Okay, yeah, well, that's fair.
I guess, yeah, we'll clip that. We'll see. I think, my one takeaway is that you both are fans of recently struggling franchises. Your sports are football, but I'm gonna go the other way. I like proper football, and I had to put it on. But I got the jersey on. I'm repping my club. Massive Chelsea fan in London. So on the other side of the pond, we've got arguably, at least in the Western world, probably the two biggest cities. We've covered London and we're covering New York. I would say, what bigger cities are there than London, New York? So I bring the European element. They bring the American element.
And Cal, I got a question for you. If Chelsea is a 10 for you, let's call it, where does hockey stand for you?
Yeah, that's a good one. I would say, so yeah, I guess I should have led that up. I'm Canadian. I'm from Edmonton, Oilers fan. Bro, I was looking at the photos. So I moved to Edmonton 11 years ago. And the day I moved, there was a photo. I went to an Oilers game, the first day I ever been in Edmonton, because I'd never been to a hockey game, and I was Canadian. And the one thing I made, my family promised me coming back to Canada, because I didn't want to leave. I was living in Dubai at the time. I didn't want to leave. I made them promise that we would get NHL season tickets to whatever, wherever we went, wherever we end up in North America. I said, the only way I'm going, and I was 12 at the time. I said, the only way I'm going is if we have NHL season tickets. We came. The next year, I convinced my family to get them. So I had season tickets for the Oilers for a couple of years. They were shit. The Oilers were comparable to the Jets for when I moved for at least 5 years. Then we drafted McDavid, changed the franchise, whatever. But to answer your question, if Chelsea and footy is 10, Oilers and hockey is 9, and then I was a big Jays fan growing up, all that. That would be lower at like 6. I would say like Chelsea, Oilers, very close. But so, yeah, we'll see. I'll definitely cry if they win the cup. I cried when Chelsea won the Champions League. So, yeah, it'll be an interesting next few weeks. I know that we wanted to keep this evergreen, so not touch on anything like too, important. But when this airs, there'll probably be a couple of games done from the Stanley Cup. So, yeah, man, hockey's up there. How about you guys? Like football? If football is 10s, what are like the next sport down or the next 2 sports down?
I think it's like if Jets are a 10, I would say like Yankees are an 8, and then the Knicks are like a 7.5. The Rangers, like I call myself like a fake casual. I'll only watch them end of season playoffs.
That's
Yeah,
fair.
I would agree with that, with the Yankees at 8 for me. Although I'm gonna put basketball at like a 9. I don't have an NBA team, but I grew up Syracuse basketball. Went to St. Bonaventure, so Bonnie's basketball, even though they're in the a small a conference there, and then going to grad school at Miami, especially during the year that Miami went to the Final Four, was incredible. So I'm gonna put specifically college basketball. It's probably like a 9 for me, and then yeah, NFL's king, 10 easily.
As you can see, we all have a wide range of sport fandom, and I mean, honestly, that's probably the reason why we all ended up at a sports agency, even though, we don't directly deal with, we're not agents, but that's the reason we're at a sports agency. We love, this world. And so, yeah, whether it's North American sport, or I know Max dabbles in cricket and water polo a little bit, and Michael plays softball. And so we do it all. But with that being said, I want to know, here's my question for today. What is the hardest thing to do in sport?
Michael, you.
Okay, I'm gonna take this one. I was thinking about this before we were on the air here, and this actually has never been done before. And it has a chance to be done, but I don't think it will be. I think the hardest thing to do in sports is to win a Super Bowl as a head coach for 2 different teams. No head coach has ever done it. So you look back to like Andy Reid won it with the Chiefs, but did not win it with the Eagles. He lost back when Terrell Owens was on the team. Look at like John Gruden, won it with the Bucks, lost with the Raiders. Bill Belichick, up in the air. Where is he going to head coach? We don't really know. I mean, Shanahan was on the Falcons as an OC when he blew that lead against the Patriots. Now he's on the Niners, still blowing leads in the Super Bowl. So that's actually never been done in sports before, and I don't think it will be broken for a long time.
That's interesting. You went the coach's route. I wouldn't have even considered thinking along the lines of that. I don't have an argument against, because it's never been done before. My only thing would be, put Andy Reid, for example, has got a great system in Kansas. What is the turnover of coaches? Like, how many coaches have there been that have had 2 dominant spots? Do you know what the closest someone's gotten?
I feel like it's Andy Reid, since he lost the Super Bowl. Both Andy Reid and John Gruden have won Super Bowls with one team and lost Super Bowls with another team. I'm not sure if other head coaches fit in that same area. But the thing about head coaching is it's such a quick turnover. If you don't have your team figured out by 2-3 years, you're out. But if you do have it figured out, you're there for a while. So to do it so well for one team, to the point where you leave and go to another team and replicate that whole system afterwards, is insanely hard.
Maybe
Max, what are your thoughts?
Real quick, yeah. Maybe Doug Peterson can take the Jags to a Super Bowl, get that done with Evan Ingram there. We'll see.
That's true.
Yeah, I totally agree. I wasn't even thinking that specific either. But yeah, given that it hasn't been done yet, I think it's nearly one of the hardest things to do in sports. I'm going to go a little more general. We used to have arguments about this in, like the middle school, high school lunch table. I think hitting a baseball, specifically like a Randy Johnson slider or something, but just hitting a baseball is so hard. There's days, even like modified high school, whatever, there's days when you are on, like you have no explanation and you're 3 for 4, whatever, and you're just on fire. And then you show up the next day and you lost everything. You have no explanation for it. You're thinking about the mechanics of your swing. You're in your head. There's just so many little like intricate details. I would put, like hitting a golf ball up there too. There's so many like minute little adjustments and like mind games into hitting a baseball or hitting a golf ball.
I just want to pause there. The question was, what is the hardest thing to do in sports? And to quote Max, hitting a baseball. So, I mean,
there's plenty of dudes that hit baseballs, right? But like, if you're good at baseball, you're only hitting it 30% of the time, and that's good. 25% of the time, even if you can hit a baseball 25% of the time, so only a quarter of the time, then you're in the MLB. Like that,
25% of the time for the hardest thing to do in sport is not. It's ridiculous. No, that's insane.
If we're speaking at it from like as a casual sports like athlete who plays sports, like us who play sports on the weekends, what's the hardest thing to do from a casual to pro? It's probably hitting a baseball.
Okay, no, listen to mine then. Mine is way harder from a casual. Like, okay, we can step up to the plate, take 100 reps. Maybe we don't hit it, whatever. I still fancy like making contact with one. Maybe I play baseball, whatever. The hardest thing to do in sport is beating Rafael Nadal on clay. Like, at least in a grand slam, you're not going to stand like I could maybe hit a baseball, but not even me. We're talking just in general. I'm talking anyone. Bro, there's MLB players hit baseballs all day, every day. Like, sure, 25, 30%. Beating Rafael Nadal on clay? Like, that's not even close to fucking hitting a baseball. You agree?
Yes, I guess I agree.
Are you changing that? He's changing his tune now.
I guess I took a different approach to the question. But yeah, no, in my limited knowledge about tennis, I know that Rafa is just a beast on clay. What did you say earlier? He's had maybe 4 losses
at the French. I mean, yeah, he's won so many. I just think there hasn't been an athlete so dominant in such a specific area of their sport that like I could think of other hardest things to do in sport, but that was just the one that stuck out for me. It's like if I had to choose something that I like knew I had no chance in, it would be playing Rafael Nadal on clay. Like, maybe someone could hit a baseball, whatever, unlikely, but people hit baseballs. The coaches thing is interesting. That was a different, I didn't expect that at all. So, I know.
All right. I changed mine to beating Mike Tyson in a boxing match.
Okay, that's a good one. What timeout were you calling, Michael?
I actually misspoke. Jon Gruden didn't make the Super Bowl with the Raiders. I don't know. He beat the Raiders in the Super Bowl, so I might have to redo my whole take because everything that I was saying as well.
That kind of works. I mean, if he didn't even reach a Super Bowl with the Raiders, that just goes to show how hard it is to get to a Super Bowl with 2 different teams.
He beat the Raiders as a coach on the Bucs. He previously coached the Raiders, lost in the AFC Championship game to the Ravens, who won the Super Bowl.
So wait. So he has 2 Super Bowl wins with 2 different teams, or no?
No. I said that he went to the Super Bowl with the Raiders, but that was false.
Okay. I got you. No, I mean that confirms your. We went from that to hitting a baseball, so you're good. Like the only other thing I would say, and I'm curious about, is if you guys could win anything, like as an athlete, what would you want to win? I feel like I know both your answers, but like for me, the greatest achievement in sports would be winning a World Cup. Again, that shows my 40 bias, but like to me, like every nation in the world, everyone competes in the World Cup. Like that's the prize of the biggest sport in the world. Soccer is the most popular, at least. Winning World Cup to me would be. I'm curious your guys' thoughts.
Based on player reactions alone, from the reactions to when a team gets knocked out, the quarters, the semis, you see them just like collapse. And I've never seen athletes more sad than when they get eliminated in the World Cup. So I would probably agree with your answer if I was like an international sports fan and I followed proper football and all that. What would bring me the most joy would obviously be a Super Bowl because that's the sport that I follow the most. But if we're
Yeah,
speaking
yeah.
very objectively, like what is the best, it's probably the World Cup.
Respect. Max, is
I
it
would
hitting a
second
baseball?
that. I would se- I would second that, but I'm gonna have to say winning gold in water polo, Olympic gold in water polo, that would be no, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Yeah, it's tough. It's tough to argue winning the World Cup. I mean, what
Okay.
other event is the entire world locked in for other than like
Right.
water polo at the Olympics?
But
yeah, I
but
would get
going to the Olympics, I mean, one could argue that achieving a world record at the Olympics in any category could be a
oh yeah,
greater achievement for you personally than winning
Individual.
for a nation
definitely,
because you're still bringing the glory to your country and you're
oh
doing
yeah,
it on an individual level because
yeah,
you are the one that holds the record for your country, not just the whole team itself.
yeah, yeah. I mean,
True.
in this is a team sport, but I mean, Carmelo Anthony is probably most known in his career for having 3 or 4 gold medals. Unfortunately, he never won, MVP or NBA Finals or anything. But that is big time having. I think 4 gold medals. Melo has, but yeah, no, the Olympics are definitely winning gold in the Olympics at anything is just being at the Olympics in the first place is crazy. But winning gold, you're on another level.
I mean, the Olympics are coming up, so we'll see a bunch more people win gold at the Olympics and hit baseballs and shit. So, yeah, I mean,
Olympic sport, I think.
the only thing I would say though is that less people probably care about, like, on average, the viewership for specific Olympic events versus like the World Cup final wouldn't even be like in the
Not
same
even
realm.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I agree. 100%.
But-
And another thing too, like you have people watch soccer all year round for the years in between the Olympics too. Like I'll watch, swimming during the Olympics, but it's pretty much only like that 1 week during the Olympics, Soccer
To take it one step sorry to cut you off, to take it one step further, if you guys had to like pick a sport to win gold and maybe set a record in at the Olympics, a specific event or a specific sport, what would it be?
Javelin
I know
throw.
that's an easy answer. Yours would be
Javelin
javelin.
throw. Dude, taking that thing and launching it.
Chucky, that would feel good. That would just off the just coming out the arm, and you're like, oh yeah, that's a good one.
Like I throw this object the farthest than anyone in the world.
I might have to say,
snake, yeah.
I can't. I don't know the distance, but whatever Usain Bolt ran, the 100
Yeah.
meter, maybe.
100 meters.
I think that would be.
That's what I was gonna say. Like, I think that's probably the most height, like, Olympic sport, the 100-meter sprint, probably. And I would say, like, setting a world record in the 100 meters and winning the gold, you'd probably get the most like attention. Like, if you wanted to do it for clout and like vibes, I would probably say the 100-meter, like setting the world record in that. Javelin would be dope though. Shot put, high jump would be sick. Athletics is kind of where we're at right now. But yeah, 100-meter from me as well. Appreciate you guys. First rounds. Have way more to come. Sports Cap out.